Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Computer Wednesday, we're going to talk about GPU price crash of June 2022. Basically, prices have started to come down. So let's dive right into it. Now, what started it? Crypto crash. Basically, at this point in time, as I'm collecting the information about this, it's supposed to be the second largest Bitcoin crash, meaning there was a big crash around after 2018 and it went dip. Same happened here, dip. So this is almost as bad as that, meaning to give you a context of it, one Bitcoin was at peak, which is around November 2021, reached around 47 lakhs. Just focus on that number, 47, and now it's at 1.6. So drop is significant. Same happened with Ethereum. Now this is not limited to Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's basically literally the whole crypto market is crashing, whole of it. Now why? I have linked some video down below, and they can explain you much better because economics does not understand. So market is crashing. Now what does that mean from a technical point of view? Ethereum mining, which exploded because of new generation of GPU, that's no longer profitable, meaning the people who spend GG amounts of money buying this, buying cards in bulk, they have to sell that puppy, otherwise they will have loss on their profit. Loss as in is, I bought it, like let's say I paid X amount, I should have recovered, made that X amount in let's say 3 months, and then I should have started to mine profitably. But here's that 3 months is now 4 years again, and now add electricity cost into it. At that point in time, yeah bro, this is not happening. So flat out, it's no longer profitable. And long term, you may be like, hey, that's just a dip, but it happens, it goes up and down, goes up and down. What if it goes up again? Here's the deal. Ethereum is switching from old model to proof of stake, which will not be mineable in basically graphics card. Same happened with Bitcoin is no longer mined in graphics card because it's too goddamn hard. So GPU mining is no longer profitable. You have to build custom ASICs for it. So same will happen with Ethereum. And Ethereum was the last thing that was mined on consumer level equipments. So GPU mining will flat out be no longer profitable. And this is supposed to happen in August, and it's already starting to affect the system, because even if let's say this price value starts to go up, people will no longer be like, what, let's spend boatload of money to buy new GPUs. And that also creates a safety net for us for next generations of GPU, because it's like, dude, it has switched to a point where it's no longer viable to do mining. So it's not like, oh, 4,000 will come, it's profitable again. Nah bro, the whole system is changed. So that's good. And market is flooded because of these people, like they are so volatile. They are selling their GPUs as quickly as possible. So they are flooding the market with used GPUs. So this crypto crash is here, it's real, it's serious. So what about the price? Well, price is going down simply because of low demand. Like, wait a minute, there is a low demand of GPU? Actually, yes. How the heck that happened? That happened simply because people who needed it, basically my brother and my friends who had a computer, for whatever reason, let's say you had a work system requirement and you have to have that work system. Of course, you're gonna pay whatever the scalper is asking for you. You will pay for it. Now, all those people who have already paid the scalpers, already got the inflated prices, they're done. They bought it. They're like, okay, we got it, done. Sweet dreams, done. So that removed all the people who were in necessity scenario, meaning they're gonna buy no matter what you are charging for it. They're done for, they are already taken care of. Now it creates a second scenario. What are the people who could not afford to pay it, and they have saying ludicrously 300% overpriced, 400% overpriced? What happened to them? Well, they basically went burnt out because the price went stupid. There is a legitimate level of pricing. Basically, if company says it's 40,000 rupees and you are like, what, I will charge 50,000, people are like, okay, you take it. Now if it's 40,000 and somebody is adding 1 0 to it, it's now, no, I will pay it for 4 lakhs. People are like, bro, that's stupid. There is a point where a gaming system is not dude, it's not worth it. It's not worth to spend equivalent of a very expensive car on a freaking GPU. So that's at that point in time, people are like, what, it's just stupid. So buyers who could not afford it but needed it accepted it. They're like, okay, you know what, I'm cool, I'm got it. It's almost like how many people have accepted it. They will never be able to afford cars or house. It's like, yeah, accepted this. It is what it is. So those sort of people will flat out will not rush for it anymore. It's like, instead of 3 lakhs, I will charge only 2.5 lakhs. They're like, no, bro. And this also creates a burnout in Google search history. Meaning, if you pay attention to any trend, it has a peak and then it tapers off. It happens. Think of it this way. Russia-Ukraine war is still going on at this point in time, but when was the last time you seriously paid attention to it? You did not, because you burnt out, and it's common. It's human nature. It happens. It's like something bad happens. It's like you pay attention to it, and after a while, it's just like, dude, I can't do anything about it. How about I just let it go? And that has happened. So even if prices are coming down, people are not even looking for it. It's like, you know what, I accepted it. And many people just switched from desktop PC to laptops because it was at least far more attainable. Once people switch from desktops to laptop, they're never coming back, because again, you burnt them so badly. So that creates another aspect of low demand. And return on investment, basically people who are doing this sort of I'm more luckier than you kind of images, like burn bitch burn. It's like I have this many GPUs. Now they are no longer in a position where they have return on investment, meaning they paid X amount of money. Yeah, they're not gonna make X amount of money. They will be lucky if they made X minus 20%. And every day they delay into dumping the stock, they will be in a position where X minus 40%, X minus 50%, minus X. So they have to dump it. So that creates a scenario where the whole second-hand market is like flooded, and they have to sell it as quickly as possible. So low interest and flooded second-hand market create a point where there is not enough demand for it. New GPUs, it's like people have like I'm at 10,000 series, meaning I have 1070, and I've been running this graphics card for I think 4 years, but I'm like not even thinking about buying a new system. It's like I'm too poor for it. So that creates a low demand where people have just accepted it. It's like, I'm too poor, I'm not gonna worry about it. People who are rich enough or in desperate enough, they already bought it. So there's like, what, demand is literally tapering off. And you can see that in UK markets where they're like, graphics card in stock. Let that sink in. It's in stock, nobody's buying it. It's like, bruh. Same in some parts of India, some sellers are really dealing with this. It's like people are just like, meh. Nobody's even asking the price of the graphics card anymore. It's like, someday I will be rich enough to buy that graphics. They're like, the seller is like, bro, it's cheap. It's like, they don't even bother. So low demand is here, it's real. And new launch, that's the final nail in the coffin, simply because we all know new launch is gonna happen anytime soon, because there is generally 2-year gap between each launches, and 2 years has passed. That horrifies me. It's like, we thought price hike will be like in temporary. It's like, damn. And people did specify that it could take upwards of 4 years very early on. So 3000 series, 4000 series is about to come. So at this point in time, buying 3000 series is not as viable as you might think, especially the high-end ones. And we know for a fact that everybody, be it Intel, be it AMD, be it Nvidia, all of them are releasing new generations of graphics card, and they will all release next to each other in very quick succession. So that creates a scenario where we know the roadmaps. All company comes to the presentation stage, and this roadmap is from Nvidia. It's like planned out till 2025. So we know for a fact they have already things working out, already things in like early development, early prototyping stage, early board partner stage. So those have to come out. So we know for a fact that it's like, dude, better things are coming. So that creates a scenario. Price always of last generation drops just as new generation hits the market. So 3 people are flooding the market with new generation technology. We know it's only few months away. That creates a scenario. It's like, we're like, how about I wait? How about I just take a chill pill? How about I wait about it? So that dip is what people are waiting for. If they do not have money, they are waiting for dip. If they have the money, they're like, why should I buy basically outdated equipment? Because be mindful, no matter how rich you are, you will never buy overpriced and outdated equipment at the same time. Because when a 3000 series was released, brand new, brand spanking new, and somebody charged 400% for you, many people did pay for it. And the reason was like, hey, this is brand new. At this point in time, only few people on the planet have access to it. So that was like, flexing, right? But at this point in time, people will be like, dude, who knows, like, let's say just assume at least 3 of these manufacturers, 1 of them are good. Let's say just go with yellow probability. Let Nvidia 4000 series is actually good. It's same level of good compared to 2000 to 3000. 2000 was like meh card. 3000 was like damn good. What if 4000 is again damn good? At that point in time, they're like, dude, for 3080 would be bitch slapped by 4060. So in those sort of scenarios, like people are like, how about I just take a chill pill? How about I just relax? So in those sort of scenario, it's like nobody is gonna buy overpriced and outdated at the same time. Unless like you really, really have to have it, nobody is gonna do it. Or you have like, a few money. What about Intel Arc? Well, Intel Arc is basically they are late. Reality is they would have made a lot of sense in 1 year ago, and they announced it. They're gonna do it. At this point in time, it should have been in public's hand all over the world, but that did not happen. They are behind schedule, and early signs are not great. Meaning they have physically launched the card in China, and the data from basically A3080, which is an aircraft name, it's really weak. Meaning it's not bad, as in like it's just like we thought we had a bit more horsepower. So it's like a 3-horse race. It's like Nvidia is ahead. AMD, like you can almost see there is like if AMD really pushes hard, they can actually overtake it, but like there is some probability there, and Intel is a bit far behind. However, Intel is kind of smart about it because they are not that dumb where it's like, I'm going to start a graphics manufacturing division, I'm going to bitch slap who have been working at it like for 10 years. That's not happening. So they are focusing more on low-end equipments, meaning if you cannot afford basically NVIDIA, you cannot afford AMD, I'm your savior. That kind of market they are approaching. So our current analysis, basically, even they have released their roadmap. Their architecture is very weak and driver solutions are just not good enough. Basically, exact same situation as AMD. And AMD has been pushing some serious driver updates recently. And you are like, does driver update matter? Actually, yes. If you really have good drivers, you can upgrade your horsepower from 60 to 700 horsepower. That kind of things have happened. People have getting like in early beta drivers, and it's like, damn, like it's almost touching NVIDIA level performance. So a driver is also important thing. And again, it's one of those things that you have to go through the long way, as in you have to push it through. You have to do multiple bug testing. You have to apply it to 10,000 systems to get real world data. So right now, Intel does not have that luxury. So right now they're like okay, like especially good for people who have a motherboard that does not have graphics output. It's really good for them because third player is still needed. At this point in time, it's much better to have 3-player race versus 2-player race. Why? Because they are the perfect antidote to scalpers. Meaning, even if let's say miners go away, but what scalpers? Scalpers will like, dude, I can still make money. This is the perfect antidote for them. They're like, why? Think of it this way. They have X amount of money. They do not have infinite amount of money. No matter how much you think, they do not have infinite amount of money. They buy graphics card. Awesome. But here's the which card they will buy? The one that is in high demand or what is low demand? Now here's they bought the high demand one. Awesome. Here's you try to buy a new high demand one. A scalper is like 3 times the price. You're like, okay, how about FU? And I'm gonna buy a cheap one. I'm gonna buy the cheapest and Intel card, and nobody's gonna scalping it because this is low demand. You just put it and you're like, now I will wait. Again, this will not be the latest and greatest, but it will be good enough. Like your system will at least boot, you will have a system, you will have experience. And again, let's say, Intel keeps pushing driver updates, it may become good enough. And again, if you are not like, hardcore gamer and I need 150 frames per second, 24/7, this may be good enough. It's like, what, good enough. And again, if you just do not have that 3x money or 4x money that scalper is asking, what else you gonna do? And the moment people start to buy this, that creates another demand slope where it's like, dude, I'm sorry, I'm not gonna pay for scalper prices because A, I can't afford it, B, I already have something. So that is perfect antidote for scalpers. And I really want NVIDIA to flood the market with this puppy. It's like, anybody who's getting a scalper is like, just out of spite, there's like, what, scalper, keep your graphics card. I want you to burn with those graphics card. I'm gonna buy a A380. How about that? So it's a really good thing. It's really good antidote for scalpers. Basically, a card that is competent enough, and this is supposed to be without PCI power also. So meaning many people who are now worried about NVIDIA's and AMD's like ludicrously high power draw, they'll be like, what? This is actually good. I can save up more money, and then I'm gonna upgrade my power supply unit, and then in the future I'm gonna buy new things. So this is something very interesting that is happening right now. So should you buy it or not at this point in time, basically June or July? Reality is the better days are still ahead of us. Like price started to drop, better days are still ahead. And that you're expecting around December kind of time. And second-hand market has one good advantage. It will force MRP to go down, because MRP, people have started noticing is that MRP when Intel launched, that was like, no, it's not happening, that MRP. That even every board partner to Intel is like Intel and AMD and NVIDIA is like, bro, we cannot sell cards profitably at that price if you are like setting up that founder edition. That's why nobody wants to make founder edition. Everybody's like, dude, we're gonna make our own, because they still have to make profit. So okay, that creates a scenario of founder edition price was just lol. That's not happening. That's like, from an economics point of view, that's not happening. That was just a troll price, or like you barely get like $10 profit per card. That's not happening. So all board partners, they are like creating their own Twin Force edition, Turbo Cool edition, whatever have you. Those are like profitable from a company point of view. But they have noticed that because of ludicrously high demand, if supposed to NVIDIA wanted you to buy graphics card at $400, the reality was like, dude, 500 is practical from a company's point of view. Company still needs to be healthy. So 500, they started to realize, demand is high. How about I make that 500, 550? People are still buying it. How about I make it 600? That started to happen. So MRP went lol. At this point in time, if second-hand market starts to get flooded, and I mean insanely flooded, which will happen once Ethereum permanently switches, at that point in time, MSRP has to go down, simply because people will like, dude, when I saw the presentation, is supposed to be $400, and you are saying the new card is like $800, second-hand card is $300. How about I buy 300? And again, oil prices are also going up, so people have other things to worry about. They're like, what, I'll just bite the bullet and buy the second-hand one. That creates a very serious good pressure that MRP will start to come down. It's like, bro, we have to sell the first fresh stock that we are manufacturing. We cannot just like, everybody is buying the second hand one, because again, price gap is too high. Everybody will buy the second hand one, and that will create an inventory nightmare for the companies. So NVIDIA recently created a business call. I have provided links down below. Of a small probability. Again, it's not a guaranteed thing, but there is a probability of price crash. Like, what does that mean? That simply means if people use patience as an option, press X for patience, that will destroy basically NVIDIA and AMD and Intel also, simply because it will force company to delay their launch, because they do not want to be in a position where they're like, MRP is, they don't want to reduce the MRP, especially once they got that sweet moolah. Once they're used to that, they're like, dude, I will not sell for lower profit margin. So what if the public is just like, you know what, I'll wait for your 4000 series. That's the worst case scenario. So the first action they can take is like delay the new launch. They will say, look, we are working with partners and blah, 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 blah. There are people who are like, you know what, I'll still wait. That creates a fundamental, because again, be mindful, NVIDIA may be like, working on 4000. They have already worked on 4000. They are working on 5000 right now. Same with like these sort of things are multiple years ahead in schedule, multiple years ahead in pipeline. So they cannot delay one to like, we're going to delay 3 years or 4 years, because that will create another encroachment issue from their own lineup. So they have to make sure that things keep, getting out of the door. So they are like stuck, and inventory cost is something that constantly goes up. So at some point it will become just too painful to have like super expensive outdated 30 series cards. They're like, dude, just sell this card, just get rid of this card, brand new cards with brand new warranties for half the MRP. That could also happen. That's price crash. That's really brutal for basically vendors, because the vendors will go from making profit to like raisin thin margin to, dude, we are just doing that so we have like next lineup. That's really, really bad. If people press X for patience, if people are really patient about this, like, how about I see your 4000? How about we wait through the scalpers? It's like, but scalpers would be a really good option for a company's point of view. Because company just wants to sell unit. And if let's say scalpers starts to get destroyed and people are still buying the fresh one, they are waiting, like, I will wait for the new supply to come in. Scalpers don't have infinite money, so they will start to dump at lower prices. But if you're like just out of spite, just out of pride, you're like, I'll buy a brand new one. Why would I buy, your card, which are like, 6-7 months already into, its warranty? Why? So things is about to get very interesting. Now, this is a very low chance, so do not worry too much about it. But patience at this point in time is advisable. Wait till the end of this year, if you can wait it. And again, I have already waited. Like I had basically 1070, and I was like, I looked into 20 series. I was like, nah, bruh, that's like no bro card. 3000, I was really excited. Then the price went. So again, now I'm waiting for 4000. And again, if 4000 is like, barely upgradable, but price is ludicrously high, 3000 is good enough. And again, I would be jumping from 10 series to 30 series. So my personal experience would be like GG. So I'm happy. So patience is advisable. So this was my presentation on GPU price drop. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment, because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free. And as always, thanks for watching.